We're live. You can hear me well. Amazing. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to another Hangout session where we do a little recap of the last session. We prep the next one. We design some things. We discuss mechanics, ideas. I don't know. There was an agenda at the beginning, as always, but we'll be free to improvise on the fly. Yeah. Let's get a sip of this nice little coffee. Nothing like your third coffee of the day. Right, so what happened yesterday at the game we had? Let me show you. So we're just gonna jump straight into the recap because we don't have a lot of time and we have to prep a lot of things for Friday. For those who don't know, we're playing Pathfinder 2e, the remastered edition, but we're not gonna be too, you know, focused on the system. We're gonna be pretty system agnostic. So let me just check what's happening with all the little bits and bobs that have to be connected for the stream to work. Right, so let's jump into the okay. Oop, nope, this one. Yeah, there it is. I tried to make it brighter and put the lights closer. It doesn't seem to be helping a lot. I really hope I will be able to get a better camera soon, so you can actually read what's on the paper. But don't worry about it, because we're gonna go over it verbally. Right, so the idea for the last session was that we're gonna do a campfire session, which means our adventurers are going to sit around the fire when they're resting, and we are gonna go through their backgrounds and maybe talk about some made-up scenarios. So the idea was we either do like a flashback, you know, when people are sitting around the fire and they tell stories, and those stories can be like, hey, this is what happened in my past, or they can be what if scenarios. What if we all fought each other? Imagine that. And then we switch to a scene where they have like a arena and they can fight. And in the last stream, you can see all about it there, where we prepped this whole thing. And now we're gonna talk about how it went. So, let me see, I have some notes, and the way I take notes while playing is just like horrible, but it gives me enough information. So, we started from this part. My players were just in the Staglord's Keep. We're playing the Kingmaker adventure path still. So they were in the Staglord's Keep, which is the end of chapter 3 in that book, where Staglord is just like bandit overlord, and they have a little, you know, keep. So like a little stronghold. My players went inside, won the fight, and that's where we start this session. They looted everything. Another batch of bandits came. They had some prisoners, and one of the prisoners was another player joining us. So his character is a half-dwarf fighter, a blacksmith, a young blacksmith who was taken by the bandits from one of the villages. And yeah, they found the little, you know, the little voodoo doll thing that I made last time. Decided to like keep it when the bandits activated, like they were cursed, so they activated and they like zombies started to chase the Aldori character. Then they burned the little thing and the curse ended, or at least it ended for this batch of enemies. And then after a little bit of cleaning the fort, finding a proper place to settle, they started like just normal banter. And after a while, they were like imagine this is our castle, and we talked about if we are gonna do the kingdom building mechanics, or like how are we gonna approach the kingdom maker adventure path, because it's really based around kingdom building, and we're not really that into having a whole separate character sheet and everything that comes with it for kingdom building. So we discussed that, and there was a lot of banter. At one point one of the players said, Andrew, please do something. Like, let's play. So I just told him that there was a merchant, a strange guy, Matthew the merchant, who was. You remember we prepped him last time, and he told him that he is doing all sorts of different trades, even with the Fae, and that he needs a couple of interesting stories to hear around the campfire. So I tried to get them to go into the, flashback. All these are like flashback scenes. No luck. They wanted to do the what if scenario. So last time we said that what if scenarios are where players imagine. Let's imagine a fictional scenario and see who is the sneakiest, who is the strongest, and who is the most resourceful. And I would now go through these and tell you what I had to change in my prep on the fly to make this function and to make it fun for everyone. So first we started with the strongest. The very, it was obvious in hindsight that we are gonna take the longest to finish that one. So the idea was to have the Staglord's Arena, like the same map that they were at. We would scatter some loot, and they wouldn't have any gear. Last man standing wins, PvP type of situation. Now, how I scattered loot was I would throw these two dice, and I don't know, it points here. This is like what type of loot, and I would throw another one. 1 and 2 are the ground floor, 3 and 4 are the upper floor. So I was just throwing these to position potions, to position weapons, and to position the players themselves. And this is something that I kind of noted here, but I didn't know I was going to do it for everyone. Also, I did mention that weapons from bandits are scattered around. I changed that so that all the loot is random. I would open the archives of Netis and just take the table, copy it somewhere, and then have a random roller in Obsidian to see like which item they would find. So the potions were interesting, and the weapons also. It makes the whole thing less fair, but it also makes it potentially, balanced. You can say, okay, if they were just brawling, then it would be the best test for how strong someone is. But I mean, everyone likes a good battle royale, so we went with that. Thank you. I decided to go back to doodling, so no more working on my laptop. These were a couple of previous sessions, and as always, the cards have their place to live in. Yeah, this is all from this campaign, and this is from the last one where you were as well. So yeah, that's the first change. And then the next change was that everyone has half of their maximum HP. In Pathfinder 2e, even at 3rd level, you have, like, some of my players have almost 40 hit points. And not that much of a damage output, especially without their like chosen gear. So I had to cut that in half, and still I think it lasted around an hour, and it was cool. It was really fun. Our war priest cleric, to Gaia we pray, absolutely. Our cleric won the encounter, but just barely. It was pretty cool. So for that, he was awarded. I wrote the Juggernaut potion, the mutagen, but it turns out that they already found one from Tolona, the city. So I found like a potion of fury. It was something like that. I don't quite remember the name, but it was like fury mutagen or something moderate. It basically gives you +3 to hit for an hour. Really cool stuff. So after that one, we did the one of our players left after that one, and we had the resourceful test. So I gave them a choice. Which of the challenges they want to tackle, everyone has to tackle the same challenge. The idea was, imagine a scenario where there is a town, like Tolona for example, you can use all the resources you can think of, and you have infinite time in game, but only 15 minutes to think of a solution of how you would do one of the following things. Catch the most whales in an infinite sea, level a mountain, cross a chasm that is 200 meters across. And I did have some complications on the paper. I never used them, didn't have to. It took really only like 5 minutes for my players to decide that even though it is a competitive task, that they're gonna work together. Very cool. I think one of the most resourceful things is to actually work together with people. So the idea that they came up with is, let's make it so all the rain and water somehow falls on this mountain and is slowly eroding it, because we have infinite time. So it's slowly eroding the mountain, and our cleric was praying to the gods, like, let there be rain. So yeah, for that they all got those robes of useful things. I think that is the official name. It doesn't exist in Pathfinder 2e, but I'm just going to use Pathfinder 1e roll table for that. And they got a little bit of a briefing, like, don't take things out of the pockets because you won't be able to put them back. And that is like a little restriction that I thought was necessary for that. And let me see if I have anything else to say for this. Yeah. So the third one was the sneaky test, and let me see if I can somehow show you how that looked. Yeah, of course, this is not sharing the proper screen, as always. There we go. So you can see this is pretty much the same as on that card. See a little path, and this is the secret part. That is the gelatinous cube, that's the treasure. And the first thing you can see here that I changed is I added torches. So torches were here, here. The players would start from here. So there was one torch there, there, there. Yeah, wherever you see the little wooden thing. Here the wooden thing represented the door. And I had guards spawn from this room or from this room, even though that was not, there is another room here. Even though that was not on in my notes, I decided, well, let this be like the spawn points. The next thing is, like, torches were really important because my players decided to work with light. And also I would use like this, oh, let's go back to this, the direction die. I would use it to see in which direction, like left or right, are the guards moving. And then I would roll this to see like a d2. I would treat it like a d2 to see if it's like 1 or 2 spaces. You saw how in the picture they were divided into like chunks, the tiles. So 1 or 2 tiles of movement. The idea was, if a guard feels threatened, sees you, something strange happens to him, he will blow a horn and you are disqualified. So the person who was seen is disqualified, the state resets after that, so others have like a clean state to continue. So for example, if a guard is here and my players are here and one of the players jumps here, the guard comes to him, he's disqualified, then we return to guard is here. So just like undo the step that showed the player who was caught. That was one thing. I didn't have any timers, didn't need any. The gelatinous cube actually posed quite a threat, because when our gunslinger was here, the cube was chasing him, so he actually found a way to like avoid the cube, and the cube fell down on the guards. And this tunnel, like, it didn't make sense to have it go straight to the treasure, so I moved it so it's just in front, and we had some guards there, so that was more engaging, more interesting. Also, this is something that I decided to do on the fly. The DC for perception of the guards was 16. It couldn't go lower than 13, but it could go to like 20. Every time you like throw a rock, fiddle with torch, try to send like a message to the guard, you agitate the guard. Guard's perception DC would go up by 1. Every round that you let him cool down, it will go down. It's like the threat level increases. We also had, because they were throwing message and they were like, oh, the god is speaking to you. So the deception DC was very low, but as nothing happened after the god's intervention, or my player is just whispering in the guard's ear, then the deception DC would, rise. So this was interesting. It was like we have to manage the guard in a way and his inner state. And since there were only 2 or 3 guards, 3 at the end, then it was like pretty easy. It was like on the guard's turn, I would just roll these 2 dice. So like, it went really fast. And those were the changes. Let me see if I remember anything else. I think I put another note here. Yeah. Yeah, another thing that we did is, if a guard is like pointing, let's say this is the map, the guard is looking that way, and someone throws a rock here. Next time that guard's turn comes, he will look there and then go. So he would immediately turn around. I don't have to roll this die again. But the fact that something fell there and he like detected it would mean that he's gonna turn around immediately on the turn of the person who threw the rock. And then on the guard's turn, I will just see how much he moves. So this, I haven't planned for this, but I really, really liked how it turned out. So if I'm going to do like a stealth mission again, I would honestly do it like this. The only difference I would do, because this was stripped down, is I would actually use the Pathfinder system for stealth and are you noticed, hidden, like undetected, unnoticed, hidden, whatever the million of states are, and you have a little flowchart that shows you like what are the pluses and the minuses to stealth. It would be too much to throw that to the players for a minigame, so this works, and this works for any type of game. That's why it is so cool. But I would use this to simulate the movement of the guards, well, minus this, and then I would use the Pathfinder stealth mechanics if I ever decide to do like a proper stealth mission. So after that, that was like almost 3 hours in total. They spent like fiddling around about an hour, fixing the loot, all that stuff, banter and everything. Hour and a half. Then we had 1 hour of the strongest, and we had like half an hour for sneaky, and it was like half an hour, and for the resourcefulness. So I think like 3 hour session at that point. Well, it lasted a bit more, but I think that was because we were chatting about the kingdom stuff and everything. But I would say like proper game time, 3-ish hours, and that was enough for a campfire session. The cool thing about all of this is not gonna be thrown away. Like you would say, okay, you just used this part and this part, like the green and the yellow. Yeah, but all of these things are still things that happened in the past, like for our PCs. So anytime we find ourselves without one or two players at the table, we can still do this. So always good to have something prepared in advance like this. I would like to work more on Mati the Merchant at one point, but for our next session we have a much bigger problem to tackle, and I was hoping we can do the design for that today and then try to just put some bullet points on the paper, see what we're gonna do and what we have to remember for the next session. So, okay, good enough. All right. If you have any questions for those who watched the previous stream and are wondering about any of these things, you can write me a comment. I will be very swift in replying to those comments. And if you want to like chat more about like some design decisions or anything like that, or just like, hey, hang out, I'm on Discord, and our Discord channel is in the description, linked on the channel everywhere. You should have no problems finding those socials. I'm also considering streaming on Twitch as well. I don't know, maybe someone there Googles TTRPG, Twitches TTRPGs and finds this stream. So we'll see about that. Hopefully the music is not too loud and everything functions. No technical difficulties today. This is amazing. All right, I guess it's time for session prep. Okay, so where are we? This was like the previous one, as I said. Defeating the Stag Lord was like a very important milestone. Now they have a bunch of different quests that they have achieved. They have this goal to kind of start a kingdom. They will surely go back to Tolona to like talk to people. So basically a lot of bookkeeping and like figuring out stuff. But I'm pretty sure that knowing my players, they might start with that and they might end up doing something completely different. So this is our draft little booklet where we just write what we have to focus on. Let me see which pen are we gonna use for writing that down. Oh, we can use this one. Okay, so first we need to figure out kingdom rules. And you might say Kingmaker has a bunch of kingdom creation and ruling rules. Yes, and we hate it. It's too much. Like, even just playing Pathfinder 3 is a lot of rules if you're not versed into it. I mean, we played Pathfinder 1e, everything is different. So, like, yeah, you're still trying to roll a d20 and beat an AC of something, but you know, like 3 actions, everything has been renamed to something else. No more attack of opportunity, which I think is a really good idea. And I mean, it still exists, but it's a feat for level 6 and onwards. Fighters get it on first level, so it really, like, when you're fighting a fighter, it really feels like you're fighting a fighter, if that makes sense. So, no kingdom rules from Pathfinder. We have to figure that out. The second thing is exploration. I should probably check what is in the hexes around the Staglord, because they might go about check things out a bit. Maybe even like from there get some rumors. So definitely we need some, as I call them, narrative nuggets, which are like mini encounters, rumors, things to see. And for this, hexes. Hex S E S, I guess. I don't know. And we need quests. What are people going to give them? What are, you know, how is the world gonna react that there is no Stag Lord? And also, I would say like 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay, 4. And we need maybe some interactions with people. So important people. I am very bad at just, you know, intuitively improvising how relationships develop. So there is a system in Pathfinder. It's not the influence system, but what is the name? Maybe it is, you know, an influence system. I don't know. There's a system for like tracking how things happen and how relationships develop. I can't be bothered to write that in advance, so I will just have a list of things that pop to my mind while I'm, you know, doing my daily stuff during the week, and then I will actually write in my notebook like, hey, this person says this person says this, like important sentences that actually push the relationship forward, and I will never figure out on my own without writing it down. So these are the things we have to cover. I mean, have to is a strong word. Let's focus on some, try to do something. We'll see how much we end up doing. We're not gonna do a lot of fancy writing. We're just gonna keep it bare bones. So, kingdom rules. There are options. There are options in terms of there is a simplified rule set on one forum that I found. I should probably link these things and write myself a note. Link. But I will remember. Someone made a simplified version of Kingdom mechanics where you basically have like build points and some unrest meter, and you're kind of like managing those two, and the buildings you build kind of give you some boosts and things. Cool, still too micromanagey for me and my group. There is also a patched version of Kingmaker rules, again, too many rules, and we need something that is intuitive for our group, that's not too city builder-esque. So I asked in the Runehammer forum, Runehammer Discord, I asked Hank if he has any ideas on how we could approach this, and he told me that like we should have 4 threads. I don't know, like people, defenses, building. What was the expansion? Like those were 4 threads, and you would have like a marker here, and they would go from like 0 to an 8, I think was the number. And every kingdom turn, you would like tick one of those. You either go +1 if something good happens, or if enemies like interfere, you would have -1. So you would just move this left and right. If it comes to 8, you're at the peak of that aspect of your kingdom. If it moves to 0, unrest rises. Okay, so the game, as he puts it, is where to put this tick. Like imagine that in one turn, you have 1 tick of any of these markers. So you choose which one you will focus on. For example, here, if you see that your exploration is nearing unrest, well, you might want to like push back on that. Maybe someone is like pushing your kingdom borders in, you know, like invading or something. Kind of like what Tolona is doing right now to the no man's land. So this would be the game. And I tried to pitch this to my players, and they were like, yeah, cool, cool, that functions, but what if we're not in a kingdom turn and we find a bandit camp, you know, and there is a lot of prisoners. We destroy the camp, free the prisoners, they all come to the kingdom. Wouldn't that tick this by one? We don't have to wait for the kingdom turn. Wouldn't this immediately tick to one? And I would say yes, that is something that would probably happen. On the other hand, it would happen at the end, because all these people that came to your kingdom, they have to settle, they have to talk to other people to like spread the word how you're their savior, and then this might tick by one. But we went back and forth, what if this, what if that, figured out, okay, let's keep it vague and let's decide on like, and they were like, we still need some rolls, we need to roll something, see, you know, like they want a bit more than this. They want it to be more satisfying when they actually make a change. One of my players asked, can I have like stuff to do with religion? And we said, okay, but if we add like, I don't know, some sort of like religion thing here, and then we have another marker. They were like, 4 is okay, but 2 a little. We talked, and then my friend had a brilliant idea. If only, oh, get this shameless plug. If only there was a system that describes everything that makes certain, I would say, city or situation, like describes every situation and describes what it can be done in this situation, that would be fantastic. And I know, with this I'm prompting questions, what is happening with Redmark? But Redmark, this is a character sheet we've done for like a fantasy version of Redmark that we were playtesting for a while. And this is the old character sheet, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this is old, before we changed composure. Still, I am not working on Redmark at the moment. Was busy finding a job and everything, but now, as things are moving on that front, I'll probably go back to writing. I loved it. It was, I mean, don't get me wrong, writing itself is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Probably the most painful creative process of all, but definitely loved working on Redmark. We're coming back to that. But check this out. Could every city be described by these things? Industry, how much you're building, industrializing, all that. Nature, agriculture is the first thing that comes to my mind. On the other hand, a lack thereof. Nature would also mean maybe like problems with hunting, problems with the ecosystem. Science, or we can say like research in general, maybe alchemy would be science. Social, that would be the people. Spiritual, that would be what my friend asked, like, hey, we have multiple religions here, what are we doing? Can we have a church? Can we have missions? Like, spiritual can be related to that. And void, which is called dusk here, would just be, in my opinion, magic. Like, why not? Maybe this one is like optional. We will see what we do with it. At this point, I'm thinking magic. So we can have 6 trackers that go from, let's say, -5 to +5. And there are some modifiers, maybe. We're just like brainstorming now, brainstorming territory. And also like actions that the kingdom can do, that you can do with the kingdom, can be kind of described with like force, how well equipped you are for exerting force, maybe for war. Move, how mobile are things in your city. Maybe like a kingdom that is really really good at move might be like a endless caravan that is like, you know, traveling around these lands, and it's not like a centralized thing. Then shape, how good are, like, how known is your kingdom for crafting things? Like Tolona would have shape pretty high because they are doing like they're making swords and weapons for the whole region. That's their main export, so they would have probably a lot in shape. Adapt, self-explanatory. Control, anything that is tied to control, um, precision, that sort of thing, and sense. So by combining these two, we could have roles for specific actions that the kingdom can make that can describe what the kingdom can do and how good it could be in these things. Now, how did I think of doing this? Another sip. Oh my god, my streaming time, like the schedule is so bad. There is no one here, and I think like people asking questions about these things is what would get it to the next level. Make it probably more useful, because I'm just, stream of thought. So, my idea is, this system is designed for a D20, D100 roll under game, which we don't want to do right now. Where is my D20? We would ideally want to work with a D20, stay in the Pathfinder, system type of things. So we need to understand a couple of things. When someone that is running a kingdom says, I want to do, okay, I want to work on building more mills. And we say, okay, that would be shape industry, for example. That can fail for some reason, like any other action that could fail. The failure then can be interpreted by the GM as it takes longer to finish, or it costs more, or blah blah blah. But I would like that to be a single die roll, and I want these two to actually like combine to give you a bonus for that. So I would say that you start with some like at the beginning, we would just look at the kingdom. I wouldn't even like allocate points or anything. We would look at the kingdom and figure out what are the bonuses. And I would say for these here, I would go with the same things as Pathfinder system already supports. I would say like untrained, trained, expert, legendary. Is this like UTEL? This is +0, +2, +4, +6, I think. So you would just be like trained, It's basic proficiency, like in any other skill. For those who don't know, in Pathfinder you have this like to calculate bonus, you have this proficiency that is like one thing plus your level, and any circumstance bonuses or anything like that goes like bonuses, I think. So we would use this. Then for things to scale without you needing to like change this at this point, we would introduce kingdom level, and that would also help us with balancing things in like the events that show up in the book. So level, okay, the kingdom has a level, it starts from level 1. We will figure out how we level a kingdom later. And bonuses, circumstance bonuses, are something that the game master can like give you at the point of like case by case basis. So I would say, okay, you have no army and like you're untrained in force, you blah blah, yeah, I would just assign like maybe you have been moving around, you're trained in move, shape, you're very good at shape, because the 2 people from 5 that are creating this kingdom are master craftsmen, so I would do that. And plus level, which is 1 at the beginning. And then for these trackers that are like what Hank from Runehammer said, I would say that they go from -5 to +5. So they're kind of like in the between of expert and legendary, like number wise. It's like your expertise will be enough to almost completely counter the minus, but then again, if you have +5, it's like you're doubly good at it. When any of these, now I'm thinking of this on the fly, but if any of these reaches the maximum, is that enough for us to say we leveled up? I would say yes, why not? We should look at the level up table for kingdoms in Kingmaker. Maybe like whenever they say like bump up your skill on this level, we can use it to bump up one of these, right? Or like, and every level of the kingdom, they are already bumped up because this is going to 2. So now, you know, everything changes. Everything is like +1. On the other hand, you should be able to train this to the next letter on like every, I don't know, like for characters, is it like every 3 levels, every 4 levels? I don't know, something like that. That is open. Like these mechanics are gonna be slow. Like to bump this up by 1, you need to actually like change something in terms of like how your kingdom is building things. It's not like just, hey, I've built another building, my industry goes up. No, it actually takes you to build like maybe another settlement. Then maybe your, if it's an industrial settlement, this goes up by 1. So we will not just like push all these so fast that this number just goes ding 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 ding. We will like keep it slow. Like it doesn't need to be mechanically completely understood. It's just when this arrow reaches here, you level up, it affects everything. After a couple of levels, you can bump up one of these to reflect the current situation. I think that is the most important. Like, let's define what a big kingdom is, what a small kingdom is. When do you actually see a change in force? Like, okay, you get 10 people. Are you really trained with 10 people? No, you have 10 people. You cannot go and attack a proper town. You're still untrained. A village where a lot of people have, for example, you know, tools for agriculture, are they trained in combat? No, even though there's like 50 of them, maybe in the village, even 100, they're not trained in combat. You have a dedicated army of 100, yes, you're definitely trained in combat, but 100, I would say if they're just like, you know, mercenaries, not like expert fighters, still wouldn't be able to do a proper siege. Like an expert army of 500 would actually probably be able to do a siege. Then legendary would be like an unstoppable force, like a big kingdom that you're not messing around with. So I think these, like leveling up these from untrained to trained to expert to legendary, is a story aspect. Moving this arrow left and right is a story aspect. But what do we get from this? We get a language to communicate how good the kingdom is at certain things. We have a language to award certain actions of players and the kingdom on a track to see, to display what is the state of the kingdom. Like, you don't want religion to go to, like spiritual to go to -5. You will have a -5 to all your religion roles, and roles tied to religious things, to maybe a cult, to diplomacy with churches and things. Like, it will affect anything that can broadly be described by spiritual connection. But you also, with this on -5, narratively know that there are cults in your kingdom. There is unrest. Cults are getting like crazier and crazier, more extreme and extreme. You know, they're sacrificing people under the, you know, in the sewers. There are now old gods that are getting angry. Like, this would require your immediate attention. And I think this is really cool. Also, maybe on a critical fail, we take down some of these. Critical success, we tick it up. Why not? Let's describe how the action your kingdom was doing when you rolled these things, how it affected how the state of the kingdom. Easy. So when we're talking about critical failure and critical success, we ask a question: how do we know what difficulty to choose? Well, fortunately for us, and let me see now again, I will fiddle around with my sharing here. Where is Google Chrome? Live streaming. Yes. Okay. So you should be able to see this. Okay. For example, level-based disease. Is this second edition? Yes. So there is a table of difficulty that says what the DC is for different levels, and you can go like adjusting difficulty, and you can see like you take that one, the previous table, and you just have like -2 for easy, -5 for very easy, +2 for hard, +5 for very hard, and combine that with this table. So a DC for second level kingdom, no, for, yeah, the DC for a second level kingdom for something that is of normal difficulty would be 16. How do I know this is gonna work? We're using the same system for expertise, for proficiency, as players are. We're adding bonuses that are in between, you know, those numbers as well, and they can like move left and right. So I think, and it is dependent on level, I think this is, you know, pretty balanced. Like the plus you will have if you're legendary, for example, in some skill, and you roll it and you have a +5 in that, you know, aspect, in that tracker, you will have like +11. My players on third level already have like +11 in things, so I think your level is then what bridges this further. Maybe I'll have to adjust the numbers. This +5 -5 is what bothers me currently, but I have a problem with that even in Pathfinder. Like, you have your strength that you add to, you know, rolls, and you're adding +3. +3, for example, is a very strong character. It adds like, you know, more to it. I'm still struggling to see when you get to bigger levels, like, how is my character ever going to fail at 22 on level 6 if it is normal for my characters to roll over 22 for like hit at level 3? And the scaling is something that I really struggle with in Pathfinder 2e, because like it seems to me that at one point the D20 stops having that much, you know, say in everything. It's more like bonuses. What does the D20 actually do? If you divide, like if you subtract from the DC of 22 your bonus of like 13, like including your level and everything, well, you're left with like 9. So like you you have a 45% chance of failure, and that just decreases. So I think these DCs should scale more exponentially to actually be hard. Here I would have to adjust, like I would have to say that something that is hard, like +2, is this +2 even going to make a difference? I'm not sure. +4 would make a difference. So I don't know. I'm okay with this going from -5 to +5. I'm thinking, now this is coming to my mind, maybe because this is a range of 10, and Hank did recommend 8, maybe we go from -4 to +4, then it like coincides with the expertise, maybe even less. Because imagine if you're at -3, you actually need 7 points to level up on this particular skill. And then does reaching 4 on any of these like level up the kingdom regardless? And what happens if when that level up happens? Do we return back to 0, like we restart it? Then you could have like a bunch of these close to, you know, well, that's fine. If you have like 3, 4, 4, and then you tick all of those, you will level up 3 times maybe, and that's fine. You will return all those to 0, but all with 3 levels, all of your skills will actually be you're not seeing what is happening here. Yeah, so let's imagine you have like markers here, 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 and you tick all of them. You will get level for each of those. You return them all to 0, like they restart when you level up, when you choose to spend them to level up, and then you're basically, all those levels are reset plus level is all of those. I think that is good. I'm satisfied with that as the kingdom mechanics. I will have to make like a laminated thing on the wall with magnets so we can like slide these and everyone will know what happens, and probably from -4 to +4, not more than that. And we'll be using the table from the Pathfinder difficulty table for DCs of everything. Fantastic. That's the kingdom rules, ladies and gentlemen. I should probably write that down somewhere. I will not write it in the big notebook because this is one of those papers that will go around the room probably. I really wish that people were on the stream, not because I'm lonely, but because, oh man, like questions would probably get this to another level. Maybe show me some faulty thinking of my own. I should probably make a PDF of this at some point, provide it to the community of Kingmaker players, because there's in every Discord, and I've done a lot of research on how we're gonna do the kingdom system, and on every Discord it's the same. People are really struggling to find something that works for them. What do we say? Wow, that is so ugly. And bear with me, I'm not that proficient with cursive Latin. I'm a Cyrillic boy. Kingdom rules. Bye. Yay. Whatever. So, what we said. 6 skills. Force, move, shape, adapt, control, sense. Okay. They go from U T E L, like in Pathfinder. So untrained, trained, expert, legendary. Action resolution. I started writing like spelling in Serbian. Resolution. Okay, resolution with a sh. Action resolution D20 plus skill plus level plus aspect. We will define aspects next. Have to beat DC from Pathfinder to DC table. Okay. And six aspects. Oh, God, no. Industry, nature, science, social, spiritual, and magic. Okay, they will be this from -4 to +4. Tick. How many? Tick 1 on Kingdom turn. More at GM discretion. Okay. At +4 can be started to 0 to level up. Okay. At -4 unrest. Big problems. Can add here critical fail. Aspect -1. Critical success. Aspect +1. And that is it, right? There is nothing else. Oh yeah, skills. So leveling up. Level up. Let's check the book actually. Let's check the book. Where is book? Where is book? Yeah, I can hear the chanting. Should I turn it down? Maybe. Cool. Yeah, I wanted to show you this. Let's go back to screen sharing and if only display capture. Wow, it works. Amazing. Okay, let's look at kingdoms. notice. You will probably notice that I'm not native user of Mac. Struggling with this. So you see there's a ton of different things here, exploration, blah blah blah. Is there leveling? That's what we want to see. Oh, by the way, yeah, this is now spoilers on. Spoilers on. Thank you very much. This is what we wanted to look at. Oh, there is actually a DC here. Well, how does this compare to the other one? So on 6th level it's 22. Yeah, it is the same. It is the same. So I can actually just use this table for everything, and it's already in my notes. Okay, cool. This makes it even easier to come up with a DC on the fly. Kingdom feat. No feats. Settlement construction skill increase. So we're increasing skills every 2 levels. Okay, we're not gonna do that. But then again, like, we have 6 skills. How many skills does a regular kingdom here have? Yeah, kingdom skills. Let's see if there's a list. Quite a few. So kingdom skills, key abilities: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So a bunch more. Yeah, then we're not gonna do the same scaling. Like, we're gonna, and this is what I mentioned. Yeah, we're gonna give them a skill increase like every 3 levels, I would say. That makes sense. I would maybe even do it skill +1 every 3 levels. And you see here, this is what I was talking about. Like, you check with a d20 roll plus skill modifier, which is, like you see, this proficiency rank, and then bonuses plus level, always plus level. See, where did I see plus level? No, this is, yeah, kingdom level, +2, +4, +6, +8. I forgot master. So it goes expert, master, legendary, which is even better for us because it's more granular then. Amazing, yeah, that makes sense. Plus bonuses, plus minus penalties, yeah, that is all standard stuff. Cool. Like, scrolling on my mouse is horrible. I have to use the touchpad, which is all the way here. Yeah, and then we're not interested in anything else. Like, I am tempted to design more things around this, but I don't think we need it, to be honest. Yeah, one thing that we do need. No, we're still. Wait. No spoilers if we are on this screen. We're still designing the kingdom rules. And again, my... Yay. Okay, yeah. Spoilers are off. For some reason, my hotkeys just stop working at some point. Whenever I do the screen sharing screen, after that, all my hotkeys stop working. Another technical difficulty. Yay. Okay. Some of them work. Magic. So the last thing that we need to design here is hex, claiming hexes for the kingdom. I would say the kingdom can claim, now this is just, I'm pulling this out of my ass. The kingdom can claim as many hexes as its level, but hexes need to be reconnoitered, or what is the word, first. We could make it like dependent on one of these, but I don't think that's even necessary. Like you need to have checked, explored, and cleaned the hex, and then you can claim it as long as it's like if you have, if you're level 3, you have like the circle of 3 around you, you can claim them. You don't need to, you know, claim the just that circle, the whole circle. You can claim some of the hexes, you know. And I would do like almost if you played the Hive game, you know, like little bugs that you have to put next to each other. I would say you have to like extend. You cannot like break it, just to make it easier. I mean, you technically can. Like, wow, who tells you that you can't have like separate parts of the kingdom? But maybe roads or things like that need to be connected. I don't know. Like your influence should be one continuous thing. Doesn't have to be. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. So any hex that is in level amount of hexes of range of the capital. Or any settlement. So if, for example, in the No Man's Land we have the Staglord's Keep here, we have Tolona around here. It's better to actually like draw that. So let's say Tolona is here. We have Staglord's Keep that is here. And there is a river here going like this. There is Nicholas Crossing here where Oleg is. And now Oleg wants to make another settlement somewhere like Oleg Town. Alright? So if you are level 3, you can use like do 3 hexes on this side, 3 hexes on this side, this side. But you can also do like 3 hexes from here to expand your reach, because that's one of the settlements that you make sense? Yeah. I would say so. It's even like expanding to a hex is something that, you know, takes time, money, effort. It will probably take some things up, take some things down. We will like see what makes sense on the fly. Okay, let's do here hex, claim, times level from settlement. And this looks functional to me, honestly. Like that's it. I think we can work with this. Woo! Amazing. Good stuff. I have to go close the window. It's getting very, very cold. And there is a big delay in between the chat and me talking. I tried to find where it is to decrease that, but it's already selected as low latency. I have no idea why is that happening. No, we're not ready for tomorrow, but we're ready for kingdom building. I think I figured it out. Like, this is all we need, and it supports like and it supports stuff from Pathfinder. It's really easy. So kingdom rules done. We're gonna put this to the side. And I will do a handout with like a cheat sheet and the laminated thing probably tonight when I go home. All right. So my dear players, shitposting in the chat. Since you're here, help me out. What are we doing tomorrow? Quests? Are you going to like do the whole bookkeeping stuff, or going exploring? What are we prepping? In which direction? Just point me like when I throw this little die. Like, which direction should I go in? Of course, when I tell them something like this, it's not like we're gonna do just that. I'm still open to go still give them the ability to go wherever they want, do whatever they want, but we are come on, lads. Dorian Aldori. You know, your character is almost like normal version of one of the characters that Gigi had, Steinolia. Most likely set up the fort, continue exploring. Brr, okay, where did I write my to-do list? They had some things I said I want to do last time as well for the main session. Don't know where I wrote that stuff. Okay, we did that, we did that. Okay. We're starting with just writing down all the things that we need to remember. So, okay, we had those stuff like nuggets and all that, but let's see like proper things. So, when it comes to quests, we have Falgrim, we have Staglord, which is like a Tolona quest and is the undead guy. Ask for him. Then we have do we have anything else when it comes to quests? Don't think so. Okay. I will put the spoiler sign on right now, because that's Three Giants. Yeah, but you never did anything for Three Giants. Let's move this here. So definitely okay, Three Giants are, I would put like, okay, quests, consequences, we can have Three Giants. But I think now is the good time to either like mute and stay to give me some watch time, or leave the stream, because I'm going to go into my notes, see what are the things that you shouldn't see today or hear today. I will also have reminders for myself. Who is with you? Akiros, who is one of the henchmen of Staglord, and +2 bandits Marco and Borko. Okay. This one we don't need. We also don't need this one. Okay, now I really need to do, like, let's do like technicalities, Morningstar stats. Something I have been promising. And I should have some like new temporary notes for like later to add to Obsidian. Kimley quest, blood pact with Franco. Okay, this is an interesting thing. Like, there are catalysts in Pathfinder 2e for casting spells. No one ever used catalysts, so catalysts. This paper here is cool things. I have like a list of stuff for inspiration later down the line, you know, and I will add things from this paper after stream into Obsidian to have it all there. And then before the session, I usually like scroll, see what cool things I have there. Something inspires me sometimes. Okay, Burning Star stats. Okay, this here. The Apex situation. They named the stable boy in the Eldori castle, so I have to make a note of that. There's also a Goran, who I have no idea who he is. This one we can throw. My only viewers were my players. Now they're gone. Okay, consequences. Stolen coat of arms from the Aldori Castle Tower by our gunslinger, raising up a lady who lives in the tower and then sneaking out of the window, taking the thing, throwing it into a stack of hay, and then he wanted to jump in it like Assassin's Creed style, and the others already started moving, like extracting it. It wasn't even like a trolling situation, it was just people being confused. It was so fun. Yes, so stolen that and the book of orders, like shipments that they stole from Aldori's father. We wanted to do like the mechanics of how the god functions, like multiple gods for Eldori. I think at this point we're not adding more mechanics, we're just gonna wing it. Like, you can sacrifice some spell slots for a divine favor, and the other god will, through his personality, like, do something. You can bargain with me as the GM for, like, almost like inspiration tokens that I use, not the ones from D&D, but, you know, the ones that are like a bargaining thing. So you say, oh, the guard is passing my cell, maybe his keys will drop. And I say, maybe, give me an inspiration token and he will return in 1 minute. That sort of thing. Is it metagaming? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we see all of this, like the hobby, as nothing else than narrative generation. Like, we're generating narrative. And some mechanics are cool, like verisimilitude and immersion are cool when, like, you're in the thing and you don't break character. But sometimes, like, if someone gets an itch to add something to the scene, you know, why would we say no? Like, that can maybe emphasize it, that will make it an even better story to tell. I will not say no to that. For example, Aldori really wanted to kick the Stag Lord into a portal. And that portal can only be opened if you put a key into any lock and turn it. And the door that was behind Stag Lord didn't have a keyhole. I still allowed it. I said, okay, the key just needs to, like, find where the keyhole would be, and then, you know, you can open it. Because that moment when he kicked the Stag Lord into the portal that leads to his certain death, he is completely, like, that is the moment that they turned around the whole battle. That is the moment that the player that plays Dorian Aldori is, like, you know, he's mind blown. It's the most epic thing he's ever done. So I really am not gonna say no to those things, of course. The currency we're dealing with here is fun. Okay, this is... Alright. We have more notes. No. Cool. Now I look at my notes from my phone that I've gathered throughout the week. It says, update Obsidian, new factions, blah blah blah. We did that. Traveling merchant. We did that. I'm pretty sure my players will try to interact with a couple of different factions. So they will interact with the wizards or priests of knowledge in Tolona. Might even go to the demi-plane. They will probably interact with thieves. Because thieves also asked for Staglord's helm. They will forcefully interact with the hunters. I have a feeling that since there was some romance around this thing, Elise should show up. Yeah, the Staglord helmet, we did that. Dispel curse, we did that. Lantern King visions, we kind of put that into the campfire session. We might add a reminder for that and deploy it in like a random time. Why not? Like this here that we did on the last stream. We can deploy it whenever we want. Lantern King. Wood giants, yes. Quest chains. Tal'Daran Chaos, High Septum. And they wrote fashion like in Game of Thrones. Now this is interesting. Okay, let's talk about this for a little bit. Then we're gonna return to the prep. So I've just now started watching Game of Thrones. It took me like 10 years, I know. And I'm not too, you know, fond of the show. If you take out all the fucking and killing, doesn't leave much else. Especially after the 4th season, like, you know, I'm like... The fantastical elements are cool, sometimes out of place. Magic is kind of... They wanted that soft magic feel, but on the other hand, like... the CGI of the White Walkers and everything, I don't know, it didn't click. Like, no arc there is interesting enough to really pull me in. Like, everything together is really cool how that world functions and lives and breathes. But, like, they've gone too much into the medieval and all the traveling and everything, but too little into fantasy to make all those scenes of traveling and everything be, like... invoking the feeling of like wonder and like you don't know what you're gonna see. You're gonna see another city where people kill each other, or like a camp where cutthroats live. You know, it's not too... I would either like it to be less fantastical but much more, you know, of a social drama, or like add a bit more of fantastical elements there. Also, not to mention some like really... At some points I'm like, am I watching like a Disney movie? Like I have takes on this, so you can hate me for it. I deserve it, honestly. But what I really loved about it is the attention to some of the details, especially like... I don't really think about fashion when my players are moving from city to city, especially like if that's in the same, how would I say, like biome. Like if you're in a foresty meadow type of biome, yeah, everybody, all the cities there have pretty much the same fashion, maybe a different sigil, maybe different colors, but it's the same thing. I'm not going into fashion, but I've seen something really interesting on dresses in Game of Thrones. Like if you see Winterfell and their like thing is a wolf, a dire wolf, so a symbol. So they have on their dresses like a pelt of the direwolf. In the Eyrie they have, you know, like feathers. Everyone has a different hairstyle that, like women have different hairstyles that they wear. And it's on female characters that you see this because, okay, like you see difference in, for example, the King's Guard versus the regular guards, like the gold cloaks, and you see the difference between different cities when you look at their armor and all that, of course. But if you look at like regular, you know, other actors, other... I wanted to say NPCs, but you know, other nobles, let's say, because people like the bottom level of like social hierarchy, they all are just dressed like peasants there. But you can see as you go up through the classes, you get to this point where the hairstyle changes and the clothes are always depicting what is important for, you know, this house and for this city, because who is ruling the city mostly takes those customs. Very interesting. And I was thinking, like, what is the fashion of Tolona? What is the fashion of maybe a different, like the City of Light, for example? I would like to do something with mirrors there, or flashy things. We'll see. Interesting thing. Interesting note, for sure. Okay, there is a note for some romantic, interaction there. I'm not very into role-playing love scenes with my friends, but shocking. And we fade to black mostly, but like the flirting and everything. Still, message, probably like you know, we had that one role play of flirting. Maybe like a letter would be enough to spark some. Ooh, look at this. Stolen book, letter. Why not? She found it. Or a piece of it. Interesting hook. Now, what I'm missing in the current campaign, and I really think like Kingmaker, okay, we're going into kingdom territory and the threats are gonna be kingdom level and everything. I get that, but at the moment, I don't feel like my players are being, there is no greater threat in the realm. There is no like, oh, the world is gonna end. I mean, there is something that will happen, like the whole no man's land will eventually crumble into, like, connect with the, pardon me, the first world, and like things will shape and shift, and everything will become strange. But it's not that bad. I would say that the war between the City of Light and Tolona would be like, wow, big. But then again, Brevo is a freaking huge kingdom, or Tiberim as we call it. So would a mere City of Light attack Tiberim or Brevoy, like huge kingdoms that are not like city-states? I don't know. What is the bigger threat, like Nerissa? I wouldn't say so. Tal'Daran has such a good setup for everything. Like Tal'Daran, a war-torn city-state with like rising up against gods, and like it's insane, and it's a crucial part of this whole story. How do we integrate it into this? I think my players should end up in Tal'Daran. Or Tal'Daran should end up in the No Man's Land. I cannot just teleport a city there, because I've already done that in another campaign. Teleportation of cities is kind of my trope. I'm not doing that again. There is machinery to do that. Trust me in this world. But no. But we need Tal'Daran. Somewhere. And you know what? We're nearing our 10th session soon. We need something grand, because, I like to have something grand every 10 sessions. Okay. Okay. Since this is probably gonna be quite a boring session for everyone. Like, oh, the consequences, oh, a lot of talking, a lot of stuff. How do we do something that's so insane? Like, I always, every like 4 or 5 sessions, I do something that's like completely mind-boggling. I already did some extraplanar stuff. Don't think that is worth doing right now. Okay, while we think, not to waste time, while we think, let's divide the page. So we know we're gonna have, we can divide it by locations. So all these things, all of this is Tolona. And then we will have, for Falgrim, we will have Oleg Post again. And yeah, those are two things. So can we have an urban like thing happen at Tolona, or oof. Actually, traveling around the world through demi-planes. The wizards access demi-planes from Tolona. My players will probably go there. They can like bump them into Tolderan, but give them a way to come back. Now we're probably gonna start with the kingdom stuff. I don't really like. I want that kingdom stuff to be. I want that kingdom to be born from like, you know, something epic. And sure, a Staglord fight was epic, but we can do better. Quite concerning. I'm not sure why Nerissa, which is like the main antagonist, I mean, depending on which side you pick, but is the main antagonist currently for my players. Why is she not just attacking them directly? I haven't found that in the book. Maybe I have. Don't remember it. I'm thinking like if Lady Light from the City of Light just comes to Tolona and just threatens them outright. Maybe summons like 3 dragons or something, you know. Or sends a threat of some type of threat. Yeah, definitely. They are not very villainized, I would say, if that's even a word. So what is going through my mind is Lady Light from the City of Light comes to Tolona from a portal or something. It's a magical being, and she, or by some means, she announces stay out of no man's land or something to Tolona, and like confirms that all the Aldori people are cursed from entering, and Dorian Aldori is the only one who actually decided to take a party there. So he defeated the Staglord, so he's Tolona's choice to fight back this basically war notification of war. What is the name of that? And then I can see 3 giants coming around Tolona, and would they be attacking Tolona? No, they start dying around Tolona. Okay, they start dying. Animals, spiders, nasty things in the forest start to be Tolona's problem. People start running inside the city because the wood giants are keeping peace in those forests. Without it, it will start to look like No Man's Land. It will basically be a spread of No Man's Land. So the City of Light is, by eliminating the 3 giants, kind of spreading the territory of No Man's Land. And why does the City of Light want to spread it? Because the real Lady Light is actually a captive. Nerissa is wearing her appearance. Or controlling her mind, or something like that, through a curse or whatever. Don't need to know that right now. What would that do to the kingdom part? Well, with that, I can see 2 scenarios unfolding. One, my players see that Tolona is struggling and try to overthrow it, to take Tolona. Which would be a suicidal mission probably, but I can see them pulling that off in some ways. And sure, if that happens, that skips like 15 freaking turns and levels of kingdom making. But yeah, I don't think it would be very fun later. Like the challenges, like imagine like 4th level players are ruling that sort of city. No, I don't think they would actually make it. The other scenario is they stay in Tolona. They stay outside No Man's Land, trying to fix that conflict. But if they are helping, like they're currently, we have Tolona, we have the Wood Giant problem, we have the No Man's Land. If they're helping out here for a while, and then this will satisfy my druid, then the wizards tell them we got this, but we need a buffer between, you know, the City of Light and Tolona, so can you make a, you know, spread there? You're the only Eldori who is, you know, willing to do this. Then why doesn't the City of Light just demolish their city? Why don't they attack directly Tolona? Why are they harassing the Wood Giants? It all boils down to why Nerissa can't do things herself. Because she's banned from Feywild, and Feywild is bleeding into this world because the Feywild reaches for her. She did belong to an elder of the first world. I'm making this very complicated, but this is how this is my thought process. Like, I'm trying to see, like, what are, you know, some threads that can unravel, and then get the idea of what now will start something else. And this is just like, all of this is already, I'm like down to do it. I'm just like looking what are the pitfalls I can fall into, you know, so when they are actually remembering things and then thinking about things, that everything makes sense still. So what we're gonna do is, when they come to fix this stuff, we do a full right chaos with the Wood Giants. They won't attack the city because that would be too... Yeah, that would be like the Wood Giants are trying to avenge their fallen brother. No, they need to be controlled by someone. Maybe little dryads are riding them, and these little dryads are Nerissa's minions. Okay, too specific. Let's start doing stuff. It's already 4:30. I haven't eaten anything. Need to prepare some things. All right. So first things first. And we have another character that doesn't know anything about anything. He will probably want to visit a blacksmithing place in Tolona. But that I can improvise on the spot. Okay, what would be the name of the session? The first thing that comes to my mind is returning the favor as, you know, these, because of the whole wood giant thing. Like, Tolona is invading no man's land, so now the City of Light, which is connected to the no man's land, is pushing back. It can be pushing back. Now I'll just call it photosynthesis. Without the narrative in my head, that makes little sense. Because, you know, we are the City of Light interacting with three giants, which are like plant-like people. You see, I can see the connection. Photosynthesis. How is photosynthesis spelled? Oh, I even spell it. Let's do. No, we want it in English. For the sake of consistency. Photosynthesis. Right? Well, this a classic crappy organization with different pens. I really need to sort them out somehow, you know? Just to make it easier to manage this. I can't find anything. I need this. At least always keep the ones that I use the most in the separate place. That would be super useful. How is it that I don't have a proper pencil? I had it at some point. Oh my god. Okay. Give me a minute. Found it. Something along those lines. Cool. Cool. We'll add a little, classic doodly sun here. And we're gonna add a cloud on this side. Always want to remind myself of weather because I really struggle with remembering weather. So we are gonna do something like that. Maybe put some branches, video branches. Whatever. So Tolona, Oleg, mostly Tolona. Tolona divided into like quest moments and the battle. The battle could be that when they approach Tolona, a lot of dead animals. Like they've been attacking for a while now. Now, do we make wood giants just storm the city and just start kicking the you know, do we make it a proper siege? Like, you know, start destroying everything? That would piss a lot of people off. Or do we do would giants kill themselves? Both are very interesting. Like, you know, Tolona getting a kick in the butt is solid to get people angry, especially if we have, you know, Aldori from Tolona. He would be really pissed off. Or would giants killing themselves in front of Tolona and letting the animals do the chaos making? Who that could be very interesting for both players, for Druid and Aldori. I think, yeah, that the less, you know, yeah, let's do that. We don't need to provoke like a proper encounter, like so. We'll find something for them to fight. That's not a problem. When was that ever a problem? Especially like they will find it themselves at the end of the day. All right. Let's divide the page. Which interesting division are we gonna do? Like, I always like these, you know. But we will have one for... How are we looking? Like, we have one for traveling to Tolona, one for quests and stuff, like this. I've done a lot of those in the last couple of... Yeah, you see. I am... No, I actually haven't done them like that for in a while. Okay, why not? Yeah, let's do that. Mm. I'm just afraid that this here is too big for, you know. Right? Or we can just continue. Do another line like this. I never done it like that. I've never done it like that. Let's do it. Alrighty. Okay, cool. Alright. The one up here, traveling to Tolona quest, the fight, I mean the conflict. And a place for reminders. Where do we keep our reminders? That is a good question. On an index card, We're not gonna do the index card bit on this page for now. I don't think we need it. We can put it on the campfire session place. And I don't think we will actually even need it at all. Because there's not many things that I need to remember for the next session. Because things are gonna be in flux pretty constantly. For how long are we going for right now? 2 hours and 3 minutes. Good time. We figured out some things. Let's make it happen. So cleanup. Okay, let's do it like this. The undead that wanted Staglord. By the way, we can do like okay, that's for nuggets. We're gonna put some additional wilderness nuggets here. Card. I'll explain later what I'm doing with this. Like so. Travel nuggets. 1 as they are closer to Tolona. Plants scared more and more. No talk. And you see like more and more is like a arrow up, talk is like little mouth. It all helps me to actually like just, you know, look at it and know what's happening. The undead, I have to find what that quest was. I have a suspicion that my stuff stops working when like sticky key is on when Windows. Okay, so hex encounters we had, that is zone 2 maybe. Spider Nest, Crooked Falls, Dead Noble. No. It's after this. Big spoilers for Kingmaker in every possible way. Yeah, we're looking for this guy. Okay. Nettle. Davik Nettles. Davik Nettles. Craves proof that Staglord is no longer walking the earth. They can provide that proof. And he is at GB 15, so I will add that to my notes. GB 15. Proof. Will he want to take that proof for himself? That is the question. Only when the Staglord's remains are thrown into waters of Shriek can Derek find peace. He remains can be thrown anywhere along the Shriek River, not just the crossing. He's creature 4, he's not even a threat to them. I mean, what happens if he doesn't? Oh, he plagues people with nightmares. Yeah, pretty much. So if they go and try to like reason with this thing, but he will not be reasoned with, and can not die, and also he will one PC with nightmares. I hate these things because they like I will have to constantly think of these nightmares, but maybe like invoke it every couple of sessions. Maybe even get him closer to the whole deal, like he starts living in their bag of holding or something. But he can be a good tool for giving some information about maybe the nightmares will have elements of what he has seen, who has passed the bridge. Could be useful. Could look like it's horrible, but could be useful. Or we can just make it horrible. It's good tool, good tool. Okay, so he is the first one. And then we have the Oleg camp. At Oleg's, they have two quests. They have no, they have yeah. Well, basically one quest if we're gonna be specific. Um, we have Falgrim. Okay, first of all, we know that Oleg preparing to leave for Oleg Town, Aldori Bridge. He named the bridge on Nicholas Crossing Aldori Bridge because they helped repair the bridge. So this is something that I should remember to mention. Also, I want Oleg to be very fun and loyal because he was scared in the first interaction. Then he was a bit, on the side. Like he is gaining confidence slowly. And I will add a little heart. Happy wife. Happy wife, happy life. This all will be a setup for Oleg Town. And I will maybe make them king and queen of the Oleg Town. Which is quite self-centric to have it be named Oleg Town, but it is for welfare of my players. Sorry, I'm checking on my phone emails for my new job. It's a foreign company, and of course it is. I mean, who else wants to work for Serbian people? And I'm having some problems with paperwork, as every good little third world country boy would have. So what we do with Kessan? Kessan is an NPC who wanted Falgrim brought back alive. I think he's up here, just to see, to remember. So I don't have to, like, I want all these interactions to end as soon as possible. Like, if he is, they come talk to Kessan, I just want to glance at my notebook, know what's happening, and we go to the next thing, you know? So, find Falgrim. Vrisian. Robbed Kessan groups and fled into him, but hopes to catch him alive. Well, he can get a +1 weapon for the players if Falgrim is captured alive. Oof. Okay, who exactly needs like a boost when it comes to weaponry? I don't think they need a boost. They got a shit ton of magic items. We don't need that. So he's just gonna say thanks. I mean, they're not even bringing him dead. Falgrim is like in the space between planes of existence. So I'll be own a favor, and he will be helping Oleg Town. So he will be the knight of the Oleg Town, and he will own a favor to PCs. A lot of maybe boars attacking. We're foreshadowing what's happening in Tolona. I'm really struggling with these hotkeys. I need another USB port, and then I can fix that. Again, as soon as the night is falling, this is too dark. Even with like huge... This is a lot of light. Like, I'm getting blinded here, and the notebook looks dim. And it's not like I can't... top down. Even if I add like a filter, try to put gamma up, doesn't look right. See, I tried that already. Isn't really helping the case, it's just, you know, oh, with the contrast I'm doing something, okay. I'll leave gamma there. I mean, technically better, I would say. Still not too good. Okay, so a lot of boars are attacking Animals scared. We're foreshadowing what's gonna happen. That quest is off our list at Oleg's. Um, let's say, because there were some girls that our wonderful gunslinger was hanging out with, as he's like a bard of our group. So I'll draw. Wow, amazing representation of a woman here. Just the dress that sells it, I guess. Happy to leave. See you in Oleg Town. Like backpacks. Like what I'm doing here is, you see, I'm painting a picture in my mind. Like, oh, I can see. Because for some people, this is really easy to improvise on the spot. For me, I can improvise encounters, I can improvise mechanics like that. But like human things, feeling like of the atmosphere and everything, I need notes for that. So it's gonna be sunny, it's slowly going to go to cloudy. The Kesson, who is a knight, is like, I owe you a favor, but you know, strange things have been happening. The animals have gone wild. Maybe even like we can get this even further. They killed that hunter. Killed what was his name? Oh man, the hunter, the hunter, the hunter. He was also somewhere here. Vekel. Yeah, the Vekel is the hunter. So the boars killed Vekel. It's an old man who was constantly nagging to the players that they should help him hunt a specific boar that he hates. So I will say, you know, these guys are kind of like in this whole something is happening, but we owe you a favor. Then you see like Oleg being like happy, they're expanding, they're making their own settlement. The no man's land is now safe for them to pass further into it, and he and his wife are happy. The young ladies are like, hey, see you in Oleg Town, and they're like with their backpacks ready for an adventure, probably leaving the godforsaken place that is Nicholas Crossing for the first time in their life. And I want to paint that picture, you know. Then I want to say older folk and merchants stay. So some families stay. More from so more knights from Tolona will come to like help them. You know, we're trying to paint the picture of expansion. Okay, should there be some encounter here or anything like that, they could have something happen, but I'm not sure with what. Like even like this part of you know, nature is pretty, like I wouldn't have them fight a bear, to be honest. Don't see the reason for that. Nor bandits, so I don't know. Honestly, don't know. Mm, mixed. Like let's check. You see, like for example, here, first Dark Mirror Shard is in English, then Video je samo Vasilije Mudrac is Stene is in Serbian. Like it's mixed mostly. So it doesn't make much of a difference to me. when I write it down. I would still write some sentences that sound better and names in Serbian if I need to remember them later. So, yeah. I don't know if there should be an encounter here or anything. I'm gonna leave this empty for now. Here in case I, remember something interesting there. But they are gonna pass through Oleg Town, through whatever, Nicholas Crossing, and there we have those couple of quests, and where they are gonna end up. Let me see if there's, yeah, the maze stats. So, they will reach Tolona, and I think we're gonna use this one for the almighty, the free city of Tolona. All right. Um, Pum, pum, pum. Pum. So what is gonna happen in Tolona? First, okay, let's go one by one. I'm drifting in my thoughts, and that is not gonna prep the game. So, the first thing that we know for sure is hunters mark the main one returns to warn. So the main hunter that was abducted is gonna return all bloody and warn Tolona that something is really off, that wood giants are not behaving properly, and that's gonna be something that they might even see as they are approaching. Approaching. Okay. Then we know for a fact that if they find the Staglord's that helmet, bring it to the Thieves Guild, they might substitute the helmet for another item. Will have almost no interest into PCs except Sar, who is the gunslinger. He joined them in a way. So do they hint of something happening? Do they try to scam him? Something would something should happen here. So for this here, I will put a question mark. I'm okay with improvising that on the spot. We'll see how things happen, because I'm not sure that they are gonna even talk to the thieves. So why even bother there? maybe need essence of wood giant, freak out without it. So they told the players you need to learn this technique so you can get the essence of wood giants. We need it. We will need it. Our enemies have it. Um, we can do our enemies have it. Just to remind them that that was something that they could have maybe prevented from happening, like what is about to happen. Hopefully this happens before the calamity. So we have those. Those would be the thieves. Now, what is this, the reward for Stag Lord from Tolona? There's this one channel that has, I think, all the quests ever given. In one place. Maybe I should open that. Also shout out a phenomenal creator. Like, he is just doing very like important work with let's go to YouTube. See my algorithm. Just greasy tails, yeah. Kingmaker chapter 7, I think, was the last one I watched. Yeah, this DM Joester, if I'm pronouncing that right. Really, really, really cool channel. Very useful for GMs running Kingmaker. Yeah, quests and events spreadsheet. Let's try to search for Stag Lord. Huh. Help the Dryad replace some trees. That is interesting. And that is where TW1. No, wait, give me just 1 second. No Man's Land. There we go. So why doesn't this have markers on it? Oh my god. So Staglord is there. I will have to watch this strangely oriented map. So TW1. Can't zoom in. That is like here in the woods. They're probably gonna just backtrack, but it would be fun to do like TW4, TW5, like just see what's in the zone. I might do that at home. Just paste from the book, have it on hand. Could be interesting to see that, but I'm interested in Staglord. So Slay the Staglord, page 164. Charter. Okay, so the reward is the kingdom making thing. Okay, they're gonna be summoned. They're gonna be summoned. Probably. We'll see. Right. Let's do the little... Okay, let's do Elise. Elise has a message to Sar with Aldori journal piece. That is cool. And I want to say that she's not here at the moment, so she is on a diplomatic mission to the south, let's say. To claim that there is no Stag Lord, so the cities that were rampaged by those bandits are safe now, and it's all because of the new rulers, blah blah blah, something like the word travels fast. That sort of thing. So she will leave the message, but she will not be there. That's important for me. And okay, then she's done, the hunters are done, the thieves are done, the wizards, what are the wizards doing? So the wizards, that is not how you spell Demi, but okay, Demi, plain, closed. Wise men missing. Wise men are like the council of mages there in Tolona, so they're missing librarian. Saw them leave in a rush. So we're just ramping up the amount of information that something is gonna happen. We're just like, you know, as they're doing their quests, probably some shopping and that, from time to time they will, you know, engage with these clues, and that is what I want. And I need reminders for these things. Like, as I've said, it's hard for me to remember this. Still, I want to add a little heart here just to emphasize that it's not gonna be just a hateful message, like a threat. It's gonna be more like a flirty type of thing. I should make a handout for that. Yeah, we're gonna make a handout for that. It would be good to have like a kiss on it. I don't have... permanent marker. You know. No, that's not gonna work. Imagine. I'm gonna make a handout and then bring it to my wife to kiss it. Yeah, that works. Do I have an envelope there? Probably. Okay. Then we are done with that. Okay, we even have a proper place for reminders, which is fantastic. We're not missing any. Right, I would add another thing. If they visit, and I have a feeling they will, they visit the apothecary, which is a little fey lady. Um, she's in chains, will not communicate, will scream at night. Then when they go to sleep, they might hear some screams, go to investigate, find the fairy in torment, and then that can be one of the signs. Um, to color it red so they sue me. I'll color it purple. Just in case. Although red on this stream has, you see, because of the color grading on the video, it looks pinkish, so it's a pink cross. Can't sue. I've thought of everything. What even is our reality? Reminders. Reminder number 1. Akiros +2 bandits. Hold the keep if they so wish. Marco and Borko. I did not name those two. 2 is that we can always deploy a lantern king vision. 3 is, I will just copy a reminder from the previous one. Use tactics dice, record battle tables, NPCs during their life. Record, not forget. For tactics dice, I don't know, 5. It's like a description thing. I don't know. If I remember anything else, I'll put it there. Oh, all right. So reminders go there. See if we need anything else in Tolona. I'll be thinking about it. But we need that. We know that. We know that everything will go crap here. So I won't be feeling all of it here. I'm kind of getting tired as well. Like, this is almost the 3rd hour of streaming, so we can just make a depiction of what is going to happen. So Again, a pencil would be nice. Yes, there it is. So what we said that the wood giants who, so here is, so you have some context what happened. The first time the PCs went to the no man's land, they returned to find that one of the wood giants was killed, and then they were like pinged by the Thieves Guild to learn how to get the essence from a fallen enemy. They were supposed to get the 3 giant essence. There was also like really a lot of different the whole Hunter Guild has disappeared, so a lot of things were pointing to something happening bad in the forest, and they kind of ignored it. I mean, our druid wanted to work with it, but the others were like, screw your wood giants, we don't care about that, let's go kill. So they went to kill, and now we are facing the consequences of their actions. So at the beginning of the stream I said that I can see that the antagonist Nerissa at this in this moment of the scenario is going to probably influence the wood giants next. She influenced the bandits and they were focusing Aldori, because Aldori were leading the mission into the no man's land and pushing the boundaries of Tolona. Now we will see Nerissa pushing back on Tolona by causing the wood giants to just either attack Tolona, create complete chaos, or attack Tolona and then just execute themselves. And by destroying half of the city and then executing themselves, why do they execute themselves? Because that curse could not be like long enough for them to just continue destroying. They execute themselves because without wood giants the ecosystem goes crazy, animals go crazy, beasts start attacking, and the region around Tolona becomes as dangerous as the no man's lands. So that is the like moment where, you know, Nerissa starts to bring the no man's lands to Tolona, and I think that could be interesting. Here we will have the kingdom meeting. This is something I forgot that we have to do. Rules. Aldori +3 Aldori people. This is gonna be a social counter, and I will run it in initiative. So I want this to be like, you know, we killed the Stag Lord, yes, but back and forth. Maybe Francis Aldori accuses stolen book. Another thing would be the stolen, you know, big banner of Aldori family. Someone brings it up, and that led to more controlled Aldori castle. So more guards there. Okay, yeah, that's less important. I started talking about wood giants and then just left here because I wanted to just say, okay, these rules that we made, they are gonna be explained here, and like they will be like half not too keen before calamity. So calamity is gonna be, you know, that those moments where Oh, we're not too sure. Yes, you did a great thing, but we're still not sure. You're nobodies. And then the three giant calamity happens, and then they're like, oh yeah, have your kingdom. Classic. And we have a little space here and a little space there for some fun doodles. We'll see what ends up living in these spaces. You know, whenever you have these little empty spaces in your notes, something is bound to make it their home. With little eyes there watching you. I don't know what it is. It looks like a little gnome. Okay, little nose. Maybe it's the Lantern King's gnome. We don't know. We also have one here. This is not gonna be a house for a gnome, but something else. I'm just procrastinating doing the calamity because I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with such a big part of the page. All right. Just added a reminder that they are gonna discuss the players being the buffer in the No Man's Land, and that is after this. And also I added that the wise men agree, even though they're not gonna be there, someone is gonna talk in their name, which I think is important. It's important for players to know who their allies are in the matter of... Okay, I need a mayor. I forgot the mayor, so... Mayor. Hopefully it's spelled like that. Cool. That's all fine. Let's do this. So we will have... Ooh, such a spicy thing. Check this out. So I am going to say that the whole calamity thing starts by the bells are ringing. Then fires on the keep on towers are being lit as signals. Archers prepare. I can see them like... And then Wood Giant throws a big rock at the Aldori Tower. And then actually, even though I've had this written here for the letter, Elise might be dead. So she might be dead, and then in the rubble is the letter. I'll put some rubble here. Why am I like rewriting a part of this? Well, if they try to engage her before this moment, yeah, sure, they will just find a letter, maybe a guard left it there or whatever. Like she maybe left it with a guard, or you know, maybe left it at Dorian's home. And in case they haven't had any communication with her, then this is a very cool way to like check how concerned they would be for her, especially Sar, and to like find evidence of her knowing what was happening and knowing that she is still alive and knowing which side she chose. I think it's really, really cool. I think that would be maybe. See, I don't know. I watched now that dungeon tubers are actually prepping online. I watched how other people do this. Don't have a feeling they struggle with social stuff the same way that I do. So like, people are prepping different things. I think that's the biggest like lesson from all of this. Is like everyone will prep what they think, like what's hard for them to improvise. Some just prep maps, worlds. I usually do that before I start running. Now when there is so many NPCs that I have to, you know, keep track of, I do it like this. I don't keep like in my mind everything. I'm like, okay, this little note like would push the friendship, the you know, relationship to the next level, maybe a little bit, but not through direct interaction. And then they will speculate, and I will feed on that for the next inspiration, next thing. So imagine this scenario: bells start to ring, fires on all 5 or how many towers start blasting. You see archers like running from the walls, preparing for something. The ground begins to shake. We will add that, ground shake. It's like I'm scripting the cutscene. The ground begins to shake, and you just see a big stone like and hitting the tower. Just, it's a symbol, you know. It will, Aldori will feel it, Sar will feel it for the girl, I guess, maybe. And at that point, the archers start to like make flaming arrows, which will definitely be something that hurts the druid. Everyone here is somehow, you know, being provocated. Then we have the sorcerer, who is, well, he is obsessed with love and people being in love, so he will by default be agitated by this. And we have the blacksmith, who was always dreaming of coming to Tolona and seeing the greatness of Tolona, and now witnesses like the destruction and everything, and figures out there is nowhere to run from the cruelty of the world, which is not that good of a hook, but he just joined us like yesterday, so and he's probably like, you know, I'm not sure about his scheduling, so I can see him leaving fairly like soonish, so I wouldn't go too deep into thinking how that would affect him right now. I think that is a cool scene here. And see, little eyes have been born here. Why? I have no idea. Cool, this is a scene. This is how it starts. From here, we want to go into... I will do like a wooden... from here, I want to go into... Now, first of all, I need a note for myself. Slaughter. Be gross, make it emotional. Make it, you know, memorable. We really want to agitate everyone here. See what they do. Then, from there, fight outside walls, rain of fire, each 1d6 rounds. People run inside. Giants use people and horses as weapons. Then, and I would make this a horrible encounter. Then after, I would say 1d4 rounds for the fire, maybe 1d10 rounds the big arrow of the City of Light. In the skies. Shatters and all three giants kneel and kill themselves. I need a reminder that their eyes will be blue like the bandits because of the curse, and this is the moment where the City of Light would probably give a message. Stay out. Or we come in. I don't know. I will working message, to be honest. We will see what it is. But for this battle to be epic, what we need? We need more narrative nuggets. That is one of the sections of that we will focus. But always for things like this, we need nuggets. So I will use the same paper. I will write battle nuggets. So those are basically small things you can see, you can witness happening. Some you can try to, you know, intercept to do. So imagine there is a protest on the city square. There is a cart going down and it's about to hit a child that's holding a little doll. That would be like a battle nugget, and I would deploy them on an initiative order, usually, or like end of round, something like that, every round. Like if I expect this here to have 10 rounds, not more, like they have to survive for 1d10 rounds. Okay, that can be a very short period, but I would use that timer like, I wouldn't tell them what the timer is for. I would use it like if it falls to less than 5, I will use it for like a bigger nugget and then re-roll it. I will force this to last at least like 6-7 rounds, but I want there to be the feeling of ticking clock, even though the clock is not ticking that much. This is I don't do it always. Like I would say that some encounters are more of or at least for me, some encounters are more narrative and some are more, you know, tactical, and I'm completely fine with having a clock that is like 2 rounds, something happens, people, or a very long timer, people die, I'm not pulling my punches, I'm rolling all the rolls in front of people. But when it comes to like scenarios like this, I want them to be longer, I want them to feel, you know, I want to present all the nuggets, I want to present the situation, the gravity of the whole thing, because this encounter is using the rules for encounters, but it's actually like an interactive cutscene in a way. And I'm very focused on framing, like it depends what campaign I'm running, but for things like this, I'm very focused on pacing, on storytelling, on bringing the story to the players, because I know that we won't have a lot of time to play. Like, it can really easily happen that someone gets I don't know, a job somewhere else, moves somewhere else, you know. You never know what life is gonna bring, so I want us to tell the coolest stories, and I treat these like TV shows. So yeah, battle nuggets. I see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is more than enough for this. And for traveling, we can have like 6. Okay, we can go with 8. And by committing like this, I know what I have to fill. Then it makes me be more creative to fill it in. Now, what happens after this? We forgot here to mention that dead animals are around. We can do that. Dead animals around. Toll. Maybe add a little bit of flies, like so. Like it's stinking of rot. And they saw a big bird being shot down last time they were in Tolona, so I presume that this will all look like foreshadowing for this. And the little porcupine boy will say, "I told you so," which, you know, no one wants to hear. Cool. So after this happens, and we have okay, I will add here nuggets each round. Exclamation marks. It's just one exclamation mark is like a bullet point for me. And bullet points are like smaller than it, but when I put like 2 exclamation marks, oh boy, then we're serious. It is so cold in this studio. Oh my god, I hate cold. I'm the biggest hater of cold weather ever. They live in a country where it's always freaking cold. Oh my god. I can't turn the heater, little heater on, because it's too loud and you will hear it on stream. So, does this happen at night? Yes, it happens at night. So, a little moon and some stars around it to tell me that. And yes, our little apothecary will then scream. Cool. So, you see my notes are just... We will have them after this. how do you say it in English? Like the day of mourning the lost. Ooh, that's an interesting situation for them to meet the gravedigger. He's an interesting fella. So days of mourning ceremony to graveyard. This here. Players as heroes. If they do something heroic. If they don't, they can be villains. So they might be labeled by the people. So by the people. So I'm not talking politicians, I'm talking regular folk. And that will probably be the end of that session. What else could be cool to add or do on this page to like close the session? Not the most comfortable chair. I wouldn't want. So closing the session with ooh, I have an idea. So we are constantly manipulating this player into this emotional relationship with a politically active figure, this Elise. I hope she's called Elise. Oh my god. Maybe I'm not even right. This is cool for you to see. Let me just share screen. Obsidian. Where is the? So I have a dashboard. This is when I thought that I'm gonna run stuff from my computer. So I have like all different things here. NPCs relationship map. Aldori. Elise. Okay. Yeah. Good. Good. I remember. Cool. Amazing. Cool. You see. So we take Elise and we Elise returns in tears and hugs Sar instead of family. That's a good, like her family, the promised one or whatever, is like there, and she just runs past him and hugs the character. And this here visibly upsets Aldori family because she is promised to some northern city, whatever. Cool. Now this is a moment, where allies are being made. She is a person that takes care of like the image of Talona abroad. So very educated, very cool NPC, and she did go out on a date because Dorian, who is also Aldori, one of the players, set it up with the gunslinger so he can steal the, you remember the banner from the tower. But then she used the opportunity to ask him about the no man's land, ask about all these things. And you can see like she's not naive in that sense. I mean, my friend rolled a natural 20. That's how he ended up in her chambers. But, I would build on top of that. I think that relationship could be very interesting. And we have another... you saw the dark woman, and she could be, we will see. We will see where we put her. And what... role is she to play. See, I don't know how people will interact. It's just I'm opening avenues for myself constantly and just trying to, you know, detect when things should change. Cool. So this brings I will put another heart to indicate that that's the continuation of that moment. See, now I can follow it like here, here, here. I know where the hearts are, is where that thing is happening, connecting it in a way. In my mind. Maybe we add some plant tentacles from the ground in this fight. I can see that happening, and maybe the blue-eyed druid is also blue-eyed, controlling these plants. Has info on the curse. Cool. We have a little empty area here. Who knows what that will become? And we have an empty area here. Who knows what that will become? Oof, okay, let's do nuggets. And oh my god, I'm too tired. I will be coloring this tomorrow probably. And adding here. If nothing, it will be doodles, but I want to leave it, you know, empty in case I remember something, put it there. It's gonna be very useful. And we'll have to do some Photoshop, which I don't want to do on the smallest screen ever. This is like, what, 13 inches where I'm working from. But at home, I don't have a proper stream setup. I can't do this. By the way, did you see like how my hotkeys look? This is the professional. Looks horrible. Yeah, the intro scene, the top down, these are scenes. Then we have like spoiler on and off, music on and off, microphone on and off, and then these like three transitions. And usually I would use the numpad with like all of those, and they're configured to work with this, but I'm missing the USB port. One additional USB port, please. Oh, the sadness of this scene. Oh, I can feel the oomph there. Oh, the wizards. They were gone. They will need to at least have a reason for that, right? Maybe one comes after a while. The professor. We will put him in the nugnugs. Professor comes. Freeze time spell, like a petrify type. Petrify, whatever. But yes, the wizards will need to. I mean, they don't have to tell the players anything, right? But I need to think of how they will need to invite the players after this. Invite players to demi-plane. And do they have suspicions? Have Okay. This can be go different ways. So definitely they are the ones propose kingdom. Okay, that's easy. Like they will talk others into that, but have suspicions about what? Why were they gone? They either have intervened with the City of Light or tried to do something there. They were maybe attacked in the Damai Plain, or now let's put those options like attacked in Damai Plain. That's why they closed it. That's the best excuse why they closed it. From the GM perspective, I just didn't want that teleport to work at this point in time, but like they were attacked, that would be cool. From which side? Like I would really like to involve Taldoran into this. And we could, the only allies. You know, because Nerissa is like banished because of the whole thing in Tolderan, and the Lantern King cursed her, and that's why she's destroying kingdoms. The wizards don't know that, they just know about the conflict between Taldoran and Nerissa and her lover. So, in their eyes, if Nerissa is behind this, Taldoran is their best option, but this will put both our sorcerer, who is champion of Nerissa, and another one who is like the cleric is on her lover's side, the gunslinger is against the lantern god. They're all on her side. She just doesn't know it. You know, they just don't know it that she's on their side. To be fair, she doesn't even care. She needs to achieve her goal. And for her, they are just in the path. She's just blindly raging into the whole thing, you know. And proposing that Tolderan be allies will, like, put the whole thing in question. Like, wait. Who are we fighting for? And I think sides would have to be chosen. But they don't know that it's Nerissa. I will put that under question mark. So there are ideas. That's important. Ideas are important. We will see where I take it during the play. You will hear about it on the next stream. Next week I will probably start working, so that will happen in like after work. On some days I won't be streaming 3 times a week. Like, that's insane. But at least once when I prep my games, it was just accidental that we played this much this week. Usually we keep it, you know, we don't do it as much. Okay, let's see. I will skip the philosophy part today, I will say. And I will not do the coloring on stream because I'm going to color in the morning. And I'm gonna do the quests today probably. Just like cutting from the book, putting in obsidian, like organizing some hexes and like that sort of stuff. Making handouts for the Sar hangout, Kingdom hangouts, handouts. Like that sort of stuff. So to achieve that in time before my wife returns from work and offers to binge watch Game of Thrones again, which I will not say no to, even though I had my opinions. Goddamn opinions. I will have to end soon. Yeah. Cap. From what? Man living in chaos. Man versus wilderness. Here's what we're gonna do. Nuggets! Nuggets. I don't have a transition for that, but you can see in the agenda. I love this. Technology. I really hope no one from my group stayed long enough to hear these very, very delicate information thingies. Of course, as always, a little bit of decoration for the road. I mean, at least my index cards. Nothing else. And on the other side, we're gonna do green. Maybe this green. Green and red. We'll just make brown, which is not that bad for this side of the card. All right. Now, my branches. Whatever I did here. Okay, so narrative nuggets, as I said, are one sentence things that I can just throw to make things feel more alive. And while my players are traveling back to Tolona or traveling back from Staglord, I want there to be stuff, things happening, interactions. Maybe a group of bards that's traveling around, but who is crazy enough to go to no man's land? Bards with a wounded one, some big monster bit arm off, and he is dying. They heard it is safe now. So they heard it's safe to go through the no man's land. They went there, tried to travel through it, got attacked by a monster, the type of monster I'll make up on the spot, and one is dying, and they are very scared. The third one. Let's see, what else makes the world feel alive? Thing is, I would put like a set piece, like an altar with maybe a message written into it, something like, you know, completely irrelevant, but they will spend 15 hours rolling perception checks on their own. Like, you know, they just throw the die and say, I rolled perception. And then you say, you don't have to, there is nothing there. And you hear another die fall on the table. Yeah, so nothing like that. Half buried statues. Just uh, statues with heads out of dirt. Used to be a civilization that did that to people, now a monument. Yeah, you see, just probably not as original, but you know, a thing to see. Now these are not really gonna impact anything, so now we need a bit something that might give clues to troll sighting would be trolls. West. Trolls west, maybe even footprints if I can't deploy the rumor from anyone specific. Let's see what I have for rumors. I remember I kind of remember Central No Man's Land. We have Swamp Witch, the old tower in the island of Candlemere marks a place where yeah, that rumor could be interesting, but that's I don't know. These are West. Um, Old ruin built by the elves. Old ruin built by the elves. Haunted. This is good because, you know, um, maybe the bards say it, maybe I will need to deploy another NPC. It's good, it's nice to have. I just realized that you weren't seeing my little nuggets paper, but I'm reading out loud anyways everything I'm writing down, so it should be useful. What else? What do we expect when we are walking down, a road? Plate armor. holding another. Both empty. City of light. That I would put under exclamation mark. I don't want to overemphasize like, hey, city of life, city of light, city of light. No. So if I haven't used any references to the city and then, you know, they're traveling through the wilderness and I want to show something, then I will use it here. Otherwise, unmarked. Unmarked. And the scene I'm imagining is actually, see, take inspiration from everywhere. Are you seeing this? See, that. But imagine both are empty. Yeah, that. And two more. Two more. Inspire me, shelf. I read Glider Parasite. I am so down to have a parasite, like a tick or a leech, something like that. So, a bush of parasites. Parasitic bush. Just attach it to one of the players and make that a whole thing where they're struggling with it. Gives fatigue. So even though it has nothing to do with what I read, just need something to. Old forge. Old house. With two skeletons. Why not? Just poke one of the players and their, you know, backstory just a little bit. Okay, those are travel nuggets. See, you just need to take something in your hands, look at it. As soon as you get your minds off of what you're doing, the ideas come. Battle nuggets. And we're finally done. Okay, let's imagine a battle. So, the tree giant kicks a house. Kick a house. Parts fall on family. They yell help. Hello, hello, Stasha. How are you doing? Back from work? Then, yeah, like you can always do something like that, you know, like, oh, they need help. Always, always. Then something less obvious. We do have a river there. Oh, we have a train, like a tram. What do you call it? You know, like the railway. Yeah. So. Yeah. Use that as a weapon. Also full of people. Also, hey, help us be our hero. Invitation for heroism. Um, if the thieves communicate that they have a secret compartment in each of these, maybe something, it can be like a setup to the wood giants. We'll see. That might be something we do on the fly. It's behaving strangely. They're my hands. Um, okay, let's talk about the siege defenses. So ballistas with burning ropes. What are ballistas with burning ropes? I have no idea. I just know it's nasty. So draw something like that here. Whatever. You too. Yeah, we have a lot of catching up to do. So I'll give you a call over the weekend. I mean, Tolona can also use the tram thing as boom. Like in an action scene, that's what I'm trying to imagine. Like in an action scene, how would that look? Like, you know, bam, bam, bam. One wood giant gives boost to other over wall. Like imagine that horror. They're all fighting in front of the walls, and then one wood giant just like gives a boost to another and just like throws him over the wall, and like imagine horrors start happening. Come on, four more, four more, four. Oh, we can add other actors. For example, the orc from the tavern. Orc, I think he's called Ox or something like that. Ox. From the leaps from wall. Don't have enough space, so I'm just drawing a little wall for him to leap from. Just jumps down. Thanks. This is something that you see in the background, you know, like a thing. Other adventure ring party. They also fight on the other side of the battlefield. Maybe something intervenes there. We'll see. I do have an index card for them. I think it was here. No, even before that. I also have some nuggets here. Elaborate hunter trap. Okay, I might use some of those. And yeah, there's the party. Cool. I will use those as well. Two more. Who else is in this city and is interested to... Walls break or tower down. Something to break, you know, to make a hole in the wall. Something that could be like exposing Tolona so that when animals and things start being a threat, we clearly see why they're a threat, as the walls are damaged. I will just write shish kebab and not explain what that means. There you go, nuggets done. Very, very, very cool. So we are basically done with everything we needed for the next session. I want to do those handouts, of course, sure, yeah. But they're more of a flavor thing. We have an idea of how we are gonna set up things. And of course, you will see from the recap that I do afterwards that it's not just like it happened that way. That's the best approximation that I have in which direction I want to go, a lot of things that I can deploy on the fly, what are some emotional points I want to hit. Like, you're not railroading. I'm emotionally railroading people. I'm not railroading in terms of like story, at least not when it's like sandboxy as this is. So in terms of what is going to happen, it's all out there for you to, you know, explore, see what's going to happen. But I have a feeling after a couple of sessions that I need an emotional hook. I need an emotional, you know, reminder. And that is why I'm constantly trying to put that into my notes. Like, try to approximate how all that will go. Yeah, we'll talk more about that when the time comes. Until then, well, when is then? And should I schedule that as a thing on the channel, or just like I did now, just show up and hope people will join? At the end of the day, I'm not really aiming at people joining for the sake of hanging out with me here. I really feel that these videos, like, I would put them in the background, like good second screen material. And I do believe that some, like, from looking how my creativity works, maybe someone else can get inspired, or that's the feeling that I want to, you know, have, like, to transfer, like, inspiration. And that from all the mechanics and all the systems and everything that we have in the hobby, it really boils down to, hey, let's just write some stuff in the notebook, make it look pretty, write all the ideas we can think of, and see, you know, how that will unravel during the game. I think prepping like this, ending up with an interesting collection of notes like this, And being able to run a 5-hour session from this, that is a skill that you learn, and that is a skill that never goes away. And then you figure out, I don't even need this. Just like, it's the way I learn, so it helps me like connect with the material, give me the feeling of crafting. But at the end of the day, you can then run with almost no prep, which is fantastic. Hey there, I was just about to jump off. This is the end of the stream, but thank you for jumping in. There will be another one sometime next week. We will see, Monday, Tuesday. Depends on life, I guess. Yeah. Hopefully I fix my keys and things so I can actually change scenes easier. Yay. So yeah, thank you for everyone who watched. Thank you for everyone who joined. If you need any links or anything, just leave me a comment. I will respond, so I don't have to go through the whole stream and like check what I mentioned from resources. And yeah, until next time, take care.